Morning everyone. Today I want to talk to you about the 24-minute distraction rule. And it's a fresh Saturday morning and it's all things productivity and mindset. So what is the 24-minute distraction rule? It's going to be a quick and easy one today, to be honest with you. But it's really important we understand this in terms of productivity and how we can keep as productive as possible. So research suggests, there's countless amounts of research on this one, that if you get distracted from your working environment or from anything, it can take, and you're currently in a state of flow, it can take you 24 minutes to regain that state of productivity or be back focused on that task. So it's the importance of understanding how disruptive distractions can be to your productivity. So a prime example of this is just being aware of the different types of distractions in your life. I think I've briefly touched on this in a previous episode where I talk about a distractions list. Make a list of all the things that distract you on a day-to-day basis. It might take you a while to kind of work them out, or you might have to log them as you go. But the top one is probably going to be social media. I mean, social media, some people are super productive. They're using social media for business. So it's not a distraction, it's a business tool. But you have to be so careful when you click on one of those social media apps if it's not what you're supposed to be doing at that point in time. Because there's so much clickbait in there. It just sucks you in to reviewing or looking or watching or commenting or engaging on different topics altogether. And then all of a sudden, you've completely been pulled from what you were previously doing. So social media is a very, very high on the list. Emails is another one. Super high on the list. Now, you go, I just check my emails. You never just check them. If you click on your email inbox, I guarantee you, it's probably, if you're really good at this, it's probably 10 minutes that you get sucked in before you can pull yourself away. Some people get sucked in for half an hour plus, looking at countless emails. Now, again, I'll talk to you in the future about the importance of outsourcing your emails management to somebody else. It takes that whole distraction away from you. Emails are a brutal one. I know during COVID-19 that people are working more in office environments, more at home now rather than office environments. And but those of you that do still work in offices with a small select number of people are a massive distraction as well. You can be working and then all of a sudden someone will wander over to you, start talking to you about something on a social level, bam, you're distracted. So understand that, and you can eradicate that with creating distraction-free zones, which again, I'll talk to you about in a kind of separate episode. But what I'm trying to make you fully aware of here is distraction are absolutely everywhere. And different things will distract different people. And the only way you're going to know that is if you list down all your distractions and put some kind of plan in place to eradicate them. Now, eradicate's a strong word, you're never going to eradicate them completely, but you can minimise the disruptive damage they do on your productivity. And that's the important part. And there's another thing to consider when you're looking at productivity, and schedule in break schedules. You want multiple breaks. You want multiple times in the day where you don't have to be in a state of flow. I'll talk to you about flow on a separate episode. It's a massive topic, how you can get yourself into flow and maintain it. But what I'm talking about today is if you get distracted from that state of flow, it can take on average 24 minutes for you to get back into that state of flow. You think if you have multiple disruptions throughout the day, you're going to be losing hours a day. And there's little things you can kind of do to kind of minimise the damage of this. So it's an important one. So as I said, distractions list, it's very unique to you. So you need to look at how you get distracted and note them down. Now I've just finished the audiobook, Bullet Journal. And it was actually I didn't like it as much as many. Clearly I'm paperless, so thought of using a physical notepad kind of feels like a step back for me. But I do think there's a lot of stuff in there that's really relevant and beneficial, and I think so many people will do well out of it. If you are going to go for a paper-based way of life or a paper-based task list, bullet journal is I'd highly recommend it. It's the way to keep paper super organized, and it's got some cool hacks that I will try and integrate into my electronic world. But the point I'm making here is that I've just finished a bullet journal, and it's predominantly about journaling. And just journal. I'm starting to do daily logs now, which is my one section of the bullet journal philosophy, in terms of just noting down what happens in days, what's done well, if I felt good, just little notes that I can refer back to. And I'm trying to do it in rapid format. I think it's rapid format. It's bullet format, but basically you're rapidly collating notes, so short form, little acronyms and stuff like that. Just makes note taking so much quicker. And what you're doing is noting stuff down. So the reason I'm telling you this now is to ultimately use something like a journaling mechanism, if you do journal, to identify when you've been distracted and put it down on your list. And then we can then formulate a plan on how we're going to deal with those distractions one by one, because as I said, they're unique to everybody. So if you write them down in a pad, fine. If you're paperless and you do it in a task management software, fine. Just get them logged somewhere. Capture. So important to do this, because we can't correct it if we haven't captured. So that's really important. But so that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you about today, because I'm not going to go too much into solving each and every one. The point of today was, because there's so many of them, and I can use different episodes to deal with those individually, but the point of today is to understand 24 minutes, every distraction. If you are in a state of flow, every distraction will cost you, on average, 24 minutes of downtime, distraction time, to get back into a state of flow. Now, if you're trying to achieve different things in business and life, you can't afford too many of those throughout the day before you're talking about hours of wasted time. Now, you're never going to be 100% productive, okay? That's unrealistic. But just little tweaks and iterations and understandings of how things happen in your daily life, you can make a monumental difference to your productivity level. Just 1% on your productivity level, compounded over the course of time, could be the difference between years in the future of where you end up. You could be years ahead just from that 1% every day. And things like this, the minutiae, looking at distractions, understanding the impact of distractions, and putting in place a plan of attack to deal with each distraction is a really, really good place to start. So, to summarise, the 24-minute distraction rule. What it means is that for every distraction that you encounter when you're trying to achieve something else, or you're focusing on something else, it will cost you on average 24 minutes at a time before you can get back in to that task you're working on to begin with. Okay, that's number one. Number two, identify your distractions. Everybody's distractions can be slightly different. I would talk about the obvious ones: social media, emails, people, environment, phone calls, text messages. Generally it's stuff that we're very reactive to. And like I say, we can talk about how we deal with these in separate episodes, but make yourself a distraction list. When you understand all of the biggest distractions in your day-to-day, we can then formulate a plan on how to deal with them. So that's number two. Number three, log them down somewhere. So if you journal, if you have a task management software, note-taking software, just note them down somewhere so you have the information available to be able to formulate a plan for deal with it. So capturing that information. When you identify something's distracted you, make a note of it, and then we can work out a way how you can kind of plan around that in the future. And then number four, then think about how you can tackle it. Now I'll go through over the coming weeks the different types of distractions and how I deal with them. I am quite aware of most of mine. As always, there will be others that distract me that I haven't got a plan for yet. I'll work on that. But understanding It's not about striving for 100% productivity or perfection. It doesn't exist. It's making those little marginal gains that compound over the course of time to push you so much further down your journey towards your milestone or goal. And that's what this is about. So, hope you found this useful. As always, if you've got any questions, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it is a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog episode and I will tag you in. And if this isn't for you, absolutely fine. Just unfriend, unfollow me, and I won't be casting up your social feeds anymore. But do check out the Facebook Runpreneur group or the my Kevin Britton Runpreneur YouTube channel. We're in 135 or so episodes so far and going up one a day, and nicely catalogued by topic. And it might be a really useful ad hoc resource for you to tap in and out of on an ad hoc basis. So finally, the Runpreneur blog was set up to help entrepreneurs deal with and overcome stress, anxiety and overwhelm, and how you can use exercise as a mechanism to manage and control it. And I've been there before and it's horrendous. The impact of stress, overwhelm and anxiety on an entrepreneur can mean the difference between a business surviving or failing. It can mean the difference between an entrepreneur thriving or breaking down. It can be the difference between an entrepreneur neglecting their personal health or developing their personal health. It can be the difference between an entrepreneur having a negative impact on their mental health or a positive impact on their mental health. So it's so important. And if I can help just one entrepreneur, one business out there, this blog has been completely worthwhile. So if you are feeling these things, because so many entrepreneurs bottle this stuff up, to reach out to me, honestly. I know that I'm extremely busy. I will always try and make time to help anybody who's experiencing stress, anxiety, overwhelm as an entrepreneur. And I'll talk you through what I do to tackle it. Completely free. No selling here at all. It's just, this is my passion in terms of helping people, because I've been there and it is horrendous. So don't make those same mistakes and understand there are people there to help. So on that note, on a positive note, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.